But Jerry Ahmed Shaib is the member of parliament for Weija Gbawe and he's a deputy whip. He joins us on the phone.
Jerry, good morning. Jerry, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Ablet.
Thanks for joining us. So before I ask any question, do you have anything to say to the public after the disgraceful scenes we saw yesterday on the floor?
Oh yes, I first of all think that yesterday was a sad day. The incident that occurred on the floor was unfortunate and it was despicable and unparliamentary. And therefore, there is the need for each and every person who was present to feel bad about the situation as I feel this morning. In fact, not just this morning, just after yesterday. And to apologize to the good people of Ghana that it was an incident that was not planned in any way or form. I think that there was lack of consensus at a certain point, and all of those that we saw yesterday emerged. And I would say on my part that I am sorry. I'm sure any other person who was involved should be sorry. And I do not know if I have the capacity to speak for my caucus, but I am sure that is not, we don't feel too good that happened.
So this is a personal apology you are rendering to who?
Oh, to the Ghanaian people. I mean, obviously we've been sent into parliament to go and represent people. So first of all, to my constituents and to the Ghanaian people. I mean, so
okay.
So that is really what it is.
Now, what was the minority trying to do? Because the video we saw and the narration.
So can I take you to just while you hold on to the video?
Okay. What were you trying?
I mean, so that at least we are all very, very well vexed on the issues, and then the narration can go properly. So, as usual, you know, there is the need to form committees before some of these very important issues, including vetting, are carried out. There is also the need to have publication of names of nominees for at least 2 weeks before these vettings are carried out. What we did as the minority and what we have done throughout the period is to waive all of this just for the purposes of having government formed as soon as practicable. So what you would see normally is subject matter experts who get to sit on the committee apart from the appointments committee members. This has been the situation throughout the period. Every step of the way, when there is a parliamentary proceeding, we have what we call a conclave, where you have either the speaker, first deputy or second deputy go into some sort of a conference with the leadership, and they agree on the day's proceedings before they get into the chamber or any other place, including the committee's room. Yesterday's conclave agreed that we're going to do not more than 4. In fact, the original numbers we agreed on was 3. And that I know that there had been a communication listing about 8 people. But conclave had agreed that we were going to do either 3 or 4. And so we started, and those who were listed originally were Honorable Dr. Rashid Pelpo for Employment, Honorable Murtala Mohammed for Environment, Honorable Frank George for Communications. At the point, members quietly, although reluctantly, agreed to do Honorable Kofi Adams. And this was to the effect that he was apparently supposed to have appeared the day before, and just because of the fact that vetting didn't happen the day before, and that he can't, most of the people that had come to support him had come from a place which is far, that is Oti. That consideration was made. Then as you and I saw that Honorable Kofi Adams did not even stay in the seat for an hour. And this is the Ministry of Sports that is also bewildered with few issues or some issues. So therefore, people would have loved to probe into some matters that they think that the Ghanaian people would want to know about. We finished all of this, and it was 9:58 p.m. At 9:58 p.m., we saw that they had brought in my very, very good friend, Honorable Akando. And that is the Ministry of Health, a very critical cabinet portfolio, which has very critical agencies underneath, including the National Health Insurance Authority, including the Ghana Health Services, including the National Ambulance Service, and what have you. So there was some stalemate that we had agreed at conclave we were going to do these numbers. Besides everything, we are human as you are. We are tired. It is a critical position. Let us just have a consensus and come the next day, because the Ghanaian people who voted for us are watching us, and therefore wouldn't be the right thing to do and just to have them swept through the process. So let's take our time and come back this day. But this was how it started. When it started, the chairman and the majority side insisted on going on. We also had instructions from our side that it cannot go on. We needed to build a consensus so if they could go back into conclave and even agree. Because thereabouts, we also saw that then the minister designate for foreign affairs, very, very, very critical position, diplomatic status, had also walked in and also was preparing to be vetted. When at that point, it was around 10-12 when we were still talking about Honorable Akanto. So what we did was to then, to some extent, frustrate the process. And how did we do so? So 2-3 people also put on their microphones so that the chair would not go ahead with the process or the proceedings. And this was what happened. Then we saw people hitting and banging on tables and people doing all manner of things from the other side. So what further instructions we had was to stand and not get to anyone near, just stand as a form of protest. And that was what we did. When we decided to stand, I walked to Honorable Akando as a good friend to virtually let him understand that, you know, I just think that you should try and see how best you can also talk to my leader. Because I think that he's been magnanimous with most of these things. For all you know, although we are tired, he may want to go. But we are tired. Bernard asked at the point. All I had was to sneak in and had a coffee brookman and granite. And besides that, even at the time we had to go on a break, it wasn't a break properly so-called. We had just had to dash into the chamber to now move a motion for approval of Honorable Omanibu Ama as Minister of Defense. When motions are moved, you also get support from other members virtually to say that, okay, we are in support of this motion. And then let me also make this clear. At all times material, all the nominees who had been vetted and had come and had had the report presented on the floor of Parliament, all of them had an approval which was by consensus. So that tells you that this is the way we had agreed to do things, and this was how far.
Fine. So far you've explained for almost 5 minutes what happened, and we also saw it with our eyes. Now I am not in a position to decide whether it was 7 or 8 or 6 people who were to be vetted. So that one, the two of you can resolve it. But what we saw after the point of saying you were standing, so you said first you said you were tired. The majority said they will go on, and then you people stood up. I heard in a video the minority chief whip, another press say, let's move the table. Yeah. So that was when the confusion at least from what I saw, started. So I noticed that some of the people from your side started pulling the table, and then you even got into the middle to use your strength to push the table away so that the table that your side sat on could not hold. And that went on for like 2 minutes until let me also describe what I saw, then you correct me. Let me describe it. So then as you guys started pulling and pushing, then of course the cables got destroyed, the mics got destroyed, and then the marshals had to then come and carry the table because the two legs of the table had gone off. And in fact, whilst all that was going on, some of you had put the chairs that you were sitting on the table. Okay, so your narration didn't capture that. So at what point did what I am saying happen?
So
because
if
it
you
also
had
happened.
a bit, I would have captured that. I was getting there. So I walked to Honorable Akando to virtually try and talk him out as to how he should be able to get leadership to still get a consensus and proceed. While standing with Honorable Akando, I don't know if you cited the video. I saw, I didn't even know they were the people until I saw the video this morning, that Honorable Charles Afedun Ketia and Edem Agbana had pulled me into the gallery. Mind you, at this point, the gallery was made up of people who originally were not supposed to have been there. And they handled me. So what I did was to walk, because then I had seen an altercation between two very good friends who were both on different sides. And I'm sure you saw. So I decided to pull one away just to stop. Fortunately, Honorable Mahama Ayariga got him. He was able to help to quench the fire right there. And when that happened, and let me take this opportunity, and please pardon me, to as it were, let people understand that he's shown a lot of leadership. He's been very calm, he's been very careful, he's not been the offensive leader, and the fact that he's an NDC person and he's still the majority, he's the leader of the house, I so respect him for that intervention. So when he came in, he tried to get people to stop, to pipe down. I was in the middle of two tables. If you watch the video, you would see almost 4 NDC men, including 3 members of parliament, were pushing the table at me to squeeze me in the middle, to cause me injury. Bernard, I had gone to the hospital just about 3 weeks ago to work on my shoulder. As I speak with you, I have been seeing physio just to work on my shoulder. Would you ever think that I would want to use my shoulder to raise a table when I knew I was giving treatment to the same shoulder? It was in self-defense, and if you watch the video, you will see that they were pushing hard enough. And for what purposes? I did not understand. What I saw that some of our colleagues did was that they actually put chairs on the table. And if you watch, Honorable Michael Bayfi, when the guys were trying to push the table towards mine, he was also trying to pull it. And that was what happened. And that was how all of this happened. But I would not sit here or stand here and say that it was something that was honorable enough.
Yeah. No problem. I'm not even trying to blame you. I'm just describing what I saw.
No, I'm only telling you, yes, because this is also the side of story people are pushing, and that is not the truth.
Good. So
I would not.
Yeah, but you confirm that your lead your whip said that they should move the table. He did say, because that was captured on the video.
I don't know which part that he said so. I was not closer to my whip then, if he ever said so. At least where I was standing was with Honorable Akando. When I came in, there was an altercation between Honorable Roxin Dafeamepo, who is my very, very close pal, and Honorable Asantampuli. So all I was trying to do was to pull Honorable Asantampuli away. And Honorable Ayariga came in, and that was settled.
That we saw. So we saw that you were separating them, but then
exactly.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that. Hold on.
Yes.
You see, we've seen parliamentarians put chairs on a table, pull a table to the point of destroying the legs, and then destroy mics live on camera. Okay. So, and this appears to have been done at the instigation of your that's what I'm saying, appears to have been done at the instigation of your chief whip. This is what I'm saying.
Well, I just want to put on record that my chief whip is one of the very calm persons I've come across. I mean, assuming without admitting he said so, then that would mean that it got to a certain level that he perhaps could not manage it anymore. But he's a very calm person. So it then means that somebody may have done something or somebody triggered something and he would say, okay, push the table. But even if anybody said push the table, let us also find it in the right context. I don't think that anybody would say push the table to break the table. Maybe just push the table to disrupt proceedings. And with all due respect, it may not be the best of proceedings, but you sometimes do this just to get the attention of the majority so that you can go back into conclave and have a discussion. And that is not for me to say.
So Jerry,
yes.
To the point where the majority wanted to continue and the minority did not want to continue. I mean, from what you are saying, the minority then decided that you were going to disrupt the process. Couldn't you have said, let's go into conclave? You get me? Because
Bernard, I mean, you should. I've just indicated that it was done more than 3 times, and that is the reason why I said, let me take this opportunity to say a big thank you to Honorable Mahama Yariga. He did so. He showed leadership. He gave us something which we should all learn from. Something very exemplary. That it would not always be necessary to have physical exchanges. That should be the very, 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 very last consideration. When he came in, what he did was pipe down, guys, pipe down. Even when he said so, his people were still threatening to go ahead. I saw a member of parliament who was threatening to break another member of parliament. I saw. But when Honorable Ayarika came in, he did something very different. We had asked for conclave more than 3 times. That I've also watched you, and your condemnation of some of the posture of some of these people. Look, we are sending people to Ministry of Health and Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and we are saying that they should be vetted around 10:30, 11, when we are sat for close to 12 hours and more already.
Finally, some people are asking for the MPs seen in the footage to be hauled before either the Privileges Committee or the Speaker should sanction them, because you are people who are saying some people have disrespected you and therefore should be held in contempt of Parliament, and yet you are also in contempt collectively, at least as a committee, in basically misconducting yourself in public, setting a bad example, and that those who were involved in destruction of property should be held in contempt, and the same sanctions that you prescribe for non-MPs every time that they do something you consider contemptuous should be applied to you guys. What do you say to that?
Well, that is asking me to be a judge in my own court. I especially think that, that is up to the Speaker and leadership to consider all of this and to deal with it. It has to be dealt with, that this will not reoccur. I think that it wasn't, like I told you, it wasn't a good thing. It was unfortunate, and there's always the need for us to move ahead. I also had the opportunity of reading books, including Herbert Gans's book on positive functions of conflict. And what sometimes, I'm not saying conflict is good as a whole, but what sometimes conflict does, it also helps you to bring to breed consensus. It also helps you to know that this is my weak point next time. So, for instance, me, I mean, I've learned to the extent that even if I feel that people are fighting sometimes, you may as well watch them fight and not go and separate them, because then you are now brought into the hole that you are even the one creating problems. So you may rather move away and watch people to fight. You understand? If anybody should watch the videos critically, you'd see. Why would I go and fight anybody? Or why would I go and throw tables? No. So this is what it is. Maybe we should just tread cautiously, and as members of Parliament, we are expected to learn. Nobody is tackle something any matter. We are all getting to learn and learn more. So this should be a platform for us to change our ways next time to understand that the final thing to do, if at all, is to get to this level.
So are you guys working today? Will you vet the people today?
I am supposed to work today. I'm supposed to be. I do not even know whether we are going on with or not. I don't even know if they have started, because I've just been dealing with most of these issues, unfortunately. Yes, but yes.
But so it means the vetting will continue today.
It will continue. It has to continue.
It has to continue.
It's not in anybody's interest to delay the vet.
Okay.
And minority, we have shown that. And that is not in our interest to delay the vetting.
So you will be there?
Oh, and I can be your correspondent today.
My correspondent has woken up, so he's there already. But thank you.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's because of the money you want to pay me. So you have
No, I can't pay you. I won't pay you for the work. In fact, you are probably going to pay for the mics, you and your friends. So you may need money.
I'll come back to you to give me some money.
Jerry, thank you for talking to us. Jerry Shaib is the MP for Wejak Bawe, narrating his side.